That's really good. Yeah, buddy. Yeah. All right. Good shot.
The HAZMAT Pearl releases on May 15th. Sorry for the delay on the video, but I was out of town. This one ended up being exactly what I expected, but is probably not what you're expecting, so you're going to want to hang out for a bit. You know by now that I'm the tech guy that shoots you straight. It's all about the ball reaction and getting you what you need. This will be a regular review, and then I'll have the live comp separately because it's pretty long. We are at Royal Crest Lanes in Lawrence, Kansas on the Kegel Chromium Challenge pattern. It's 42 feet long, 25.5 mils. The graph is linked in the description if you want all of the pattern details. This one has the same core as the other two HAZMATs, basically a 248 RG 055 differential and 15 pounds. Symmetric cores don't get much stronger, and the cover is HK22 Semtex Pearl, and it comes shiny. Now, the Solid just had Semtex by itself. The original hybrid HAZMAT had this same cover, so this is basically a Pearl original HAZMAT. I have an idiot savant kind of thing with bowling balls, just looking at them, and while the original HAZMAT was a cleaner and sharper, archy kind of reaction, this one was giving me kind of chuggy, tumbly vibes. I thought it would be earlier, heavier rolling, and stronger overall than the HAZMAT, even though most people are going to think, oh, Pearl, it should be cleaner and sharper than the hybrid. This ball is indeed quite a bit heavier rolling than either of the other two HAZMATs, and it's also a quite different shape too. I tried throughout filming to come up with what I thought it'd compare to from B7. I ended up landing on the original Troublemaker, but I think this one is still definitely stronger. It does really have that tanky, chuggy, heavy roll that makes it want to slow down very quickly, and that's not a great shape for me on the left, so I kind of fought it. I felt like I was just having an off day, but when I feel like I either have to keep my speed up or throw it harder than I normally do, that's not a good thing for my game, so I tend to kind of subconsciously spin it. I got to the end and threw a couple shots with some other balls, and within a couple shots I was fine, but then I went back to this one, threw a couple good shots, and it just ground to a halt and went through the face. It reminds me both of a stronger Arctic vibe or a Symmetric exotic gem. It does a lot of the same things the Arctic does. It wants to be strong and early, but it also wants to be kind of clean and flippy at the same time, and to its credit, depending on how you throw the ball, it can go either direction. You can get it to be really responsive down lane, or you can get it to chug and be more round and gradual. As far as the shape goes, it feels more like a hammerhead Pearl to me than a HAZMAT Pearl. Both previous HAZMATs were very much the hook set, more directional archy balls that were both fairly clean. Even the HAZMAT Solid isn't hard to get down the lane, especially when it gets a little lane shine. It's in Phase 2 territory, the cleaner, more responsive, strong symmetric ball. Now, even the Hammerhead isn't quite this heavy rolling, though. It's one of the balls I threw at the end of filming, and I had no trouble getting it down the lane. I moved around like I normally do. It was okay in the first zone, absolute no-go in the straighter zone, and while it was best from the 17 to 6 zone as far as my typical zone check moves go, I ended up finding the best place for it at the end of filming. You'll see that coming up. Very strong for a shiny ball, one of the strongest shiny symmetric balls I've ever thrown. It needs absolutely no help getting it to hook or finish. I actually think higher speeds and lower rev rates are going to love this one because it digs and finishes strongly. It gives you a bunch of help on ball reaction. Another comparison I think would be the original Zen. Now I think this one is still stronger and sharper, but it's in that territory where if you're a regular league bowler that doesn't have a 500 rev rate, it's going to give you a lot of help. I have slower speed, so I don't need the help, but as I get deeper, it keeps moving. It doesn't get slow or wiggly. As a matter of fact, I still have to keep my speed up and give it room, especially as I get into the flatter middle part of the lane, so it'll stay on the correct side of the head pin. Super deep wasn't the best place for it, mostly because I don't have the rev rate for that kind of angle, and with a heavier rolling ball like that, sometimes you get those super flat corners where it just kind of bogs down a bit, but it's kind of a one-off thing that only happens on bad shots. The good shots were really crisp and strong. I eventually found a home standing on 21, going 15-ish to 5-ish, mostly because that's a really comfortable place for my game on this pattern to begin with, but it's the area that also gives me the most forgiveness. If I get it outside a little, it's still a straight enough angle to where the ball can pull up and get back, plus again, it slows down fast, it's a very strong ball, so it definitely gave me more room to miss to the outside than to the inside, but if I get it in a little, there's still enough angle to help it get down the lane, kind of. The biggest thing for this ball was keeping my speed up. I could hit up on it or lay out of it, but if I got slow, it was gone. I could miss inside if my speed was up, or I could miss outside if I revved it up a little, but if you get slow with your speed, it's just going to hook. If you have slower ball speed or are more rev dominant, I don't think this one's going to work out unless you're just bowling on a flood. But if you have higher ball speed and or are rev deficient, you're going to like this one. It also is going to need some oil because even shiny, you can see this thing just wants to move. I don't think it's a fresh condition ball out of the box. I mean, it is on a house shot. But if you take it to 2000 or something, it can absolutely hang out on some volume on the fresh. I'd have done it for this video, but it's already hooking plenty and was stressing my game out to begin with, so I don't think I'd have been able to illustrate a surface change well. I already had enough trouble doing it justice to begin with. If you don't get along with asymmetric balls but wish you could have an option like that in your bag, this might be the compromise. Not actually asymmetric, but kind of feels like it. As always, lots of great stuff in the description. I've appreciated you all using my CoolWick code as often as you have. Most of the credit I get from your purchases goes to providing jerseys for the Youth League at Royal Crest every year, so I'm paying it forward.
I will take your kindness and pay it forward.
I've also really liked a lot of the stuff I've been using from Genesis. A big fan of their tapes and chamois and the Sport 3-ball mod roller. I still use and love the Nexus V2 backpack. Discount link in the description for that, as well as their journal that's a great tournament companion and pairs really well with the score tracking app. This bowling video thing is a lot of time and expense for not a whole lot in return, so sorry for the ads, but I really do use and like this stuff. I think you will too, and it's a really easy way to support me at the same time, so I appreciate it. I spend way too much time filming to cram everything into one video, so the live comm will be coming separately, and I'm working on coming up with a better way to get some comparison videos out there so you have a better idea where this fits and how it stacks up with the other balls, so you have a better idea what you're buying. Once again, May 15th is the release date. It's coming out with the Hater Pearl and Turbo X. I won't have reviews for either of those, but there are plenty of them out there already. This video was brought to you by Panda Bear Productions. We put the in bowling. Thanks for watching, and may the strikes be with you.
It's okay, that's in. Oh, okay. I thought I gave that one a little bit too much of the business, but it held on. But yeah, if you're expecting any kind of similarity to the other HAZMATs, I don't see it at all. Significantly different roll for me. Like if you think like Arctic vibe, but more of that. Stronger ball, something that's a little bit more stable, because the Arctic was it kind of tried to be really strong and kind of a cleaner, lighter oil ball at the same time. That's better. There we go. It's a couple good shots in a row. Pretty okay. Cool. You can see it's still, as soon as I let it go, it's still it's still trying to go, so I think I might be more comfortable with this in the next zone over.